Hi friends, it's Terry Stewart, Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Welcome to day 2 here in North America of the Woohoo Weekend, where we have a fun stamping party. I'm glad you could join us. I am going to switch the camera around so you can see my workspace. So if you get sick, look away because the camera's moving now. There we go. And then you see my ceiling, my light, and probably my big head. Let's see if we can get this switched around. Okay. And then I'm going to put myself up on my desktop, well, my laptop really, so I can see if you have any questions during this. Maybe I can find myself, maybe not. So good morning. Tell me where you're from. I'd love to hear where you're from. Now I cannot. Oh, there I am. Okay, so let me go. All right, there we go. All right. So the first thing is there's been some really pretty demonstrations done, and I urge you to go back and watch on replay if you didn't watch them live yesterday. There was Shirley and Joy and Tracy and Chrissy and Nancy yesterday. All brought you some beautiful projects. And I noticed that some of them weren't popping up. So if you scroll down maybe a third of the way into the page, there is a place where you can see posts. And sometimes it says most relevant, or pick the newest post, and that way you can get to the top. You can find what's going on now. So cup of tea, that's the bundle I'm using today in my project. So it comes with a photopolymer stamp set, has 20 stamps, so there's a lot of stamps. There's tiny little stamps, which I just love. Floral images, teacups, lemon slices, lots of great sentiments, and this little tiny tag, like a tea bag tag. It's just so darn cute. And these are the teacup dies, and they cut some of the images out. Like the teacups can be cut out. You can get this outlined image, the little tea bag, which these little tiny words fit into, flowers, hearts, the lemon leaves. I mean, it's just has a lot. Even the lemon has a lemon slice. It can do an overlay on it. Super cute to go with the stamped image. And then of course we have the DSP, which also has, you can see I've been using a lot of it, teacups, teapots, floral images, patterns, more like polka dot patterns, and little floral images, stripes. It really is beautiful. I've just been having so much fun with it. So let me set this aside and show you the card that I will be demonstrating. It's a fun fold card. And I got this idea from Erin Reed. She calls it a mini card topped fun fold. So the mini card goes on top. So you open it, and then when you open the fun fold, you have, it says it's a fun fold with the mini top card. Now she did it a little differently, but I changed it up for my purposes. So this is the card we're going to be making. So let me get started with that. I did use for my card base, sneak peek, I did use for my card base fresh freesia, and I'm going to cut that right now because this is the base is a little different. So this I'm going to cut at 5.5 on the short edge. So we usually do this a little differently. So this is going to be 5.5 inches on the short side. My metric folks, that would be 14.9. That's my first cut. And then I'm going to swing out my arm and cut it at 9.5. And for my metric friends, that'd be 22.5 inches. Centimeters. Whew. I don't know about paper. Yeah, 14.9 by 22.5 centimeters, 9.5 inches. And then I can that way, and then we're going to score this and move my cutting blade out like Nancy. Got to get that cutting blade out of the way so I don't accidentally chop it when I want to score it. So 1 3/4 and at 6. And for the metric, that would be, you're going to score at 4 and 14.5 centimeters. So that's our base. And I have a little sticky here. There we go. So it's 5 1/2. There you go for measurements. I will post them, the measurements following my presentation. So you have all, both imperial and metric. And then for this piece, this is our mini card. And that's going to be 4 1/2 or 10.5 for my metric friends. And then I'm going to rotate that and cut it at 6 inches. And that's what I love about this cutter. You can get those 6-inch cuts without swinging your arm out. And then I'm going to score that at 3 inches. And for my metric friends, so get that cutting blade and bring my score in. So this is going to be our mini card. My metric friends, you're going to cut 10 1/2 by 15 centimeters and score it at 7 1/2. So it makes a little mini card. All right, and that's all the cutting we have, well, that I'm going to do on camera. Then, so for our mini card, I have 2 pieces of DSP and a piece of white cardstock, and I've cut those at 2 3/4 by 4 1/4 or 7 by 10 centimeters. And then for our bigger, our fun fold card, I've cut some DSP 1 1/2 by 5 1/4 or 3 1/2 by 14.4 centimeters, and then another piece at 3 1/4 by 5 1/4 or 7 1/2 by 14.4 centimeters. And a piece of white cardstock, that's for our inside, it's 4 by 5 1/4, 10 by 14.4. And then I have some scraps, white and white cardstock and fresh freesia. Did I see what color? So that's fresh freesia and that's Parakeet Party. I think I might have forgotten to tell you about those. All right, so let's put all these to the side because there is a lot of pieces. And I think I'm going to stamp first. So I'm going to bring my pieces that I'll stamp. I'll stamp my inside and my mini card on the white. And you know, I forgot to bring an envelope. Usually I would stamp on an envelope, but I forgot to bring it to my workspace, so I'm just going to have to imagine what that looks like. So, let me take this off and bring my stamp. Here's my stamp set. So, I'm going to stamp on the front. I did say this was photopolymer. I'm going to stamp these flowers. I guess you call these greenery, and I'm going to add some flowers to that. And on the inside, I am going to do some little flowers. That one's over here. So I should take these off and stick them to the inside mat. But I have not done that yet, so. And now I'm looking for the Miss You. Where's that? Oh, here. See, it's real tiny. Real super tiny. That's what I said about mini words. If you like mini words, this is the set for you. And then on the inside, the teacup, the greenery, and Let's Get Together. So this is the Let's Get Together. And the teacup is going to be this one. Alright, I think that's all the stamps we need. And I'm going to be switching out blocks because I did not prepare that so well. So the first thing, I'm going to do these greenery. The greenery. Ugh. These little photopolymer, these are tiny, so you got to kind of keep track of them. So let's do our inside insert first. And see this block here, I think we'll do that. Oh, that one says take care of yourself. I didn't really want that one. This is the problem. Well, this is why I should stick them to the inside, so I'm not. This one's take care of yourself. Right? Thank you's there. Is that what's in this one? What did I put in them? Let's get together soon. Oh, okay, that's down here. Yeah, I definitely need to stick these to the end. And see, this when I have extra die cuts, I stick them inside the stamp case so I can find them. So these are the little lemon slices, the overlays for the lemon slices. So I guess I was actually making limes one day for another project. And then these just go right over top. So super cute. Like I said, I've been enjoying this stamp set immensely. Oh my gosh. This is like a disaster over here. Where did my little words go? Oh, I've lost my little words. This is bad. I didn't stick them to anything, did I? Has this ever happened to you where you lose things on your desk and you're just kind of like, what has occurred here? All right, somewhere on this desk is those I miss you. Or did I not take it out? I did take it out, didn't I? Okay, it's not on that block. Oh my gosh, definitely not in here. Oh, there it is. Isn't it? No, that's sweet. Okay, it's here. We'll find it, right? We'll find it. Couldn't have gone far. Okay, and this is Let's Get Together Soon. There it is. Found it. I knew I would. So let's set all these aside over here. All right, now we're ready to proceed. We're going to stamp inside first. Whew. That was kind of a disaster, right? In the makings, but we survived, and we will overcome that. Oh, the other thing I want to tell you. So my girlfriend, it's my birthday. Well, my birthday was a couple weeks ago, but I celebrate for a month. I got together with my girlfriend celebrating, and she gave me this super cute little bracelet yesterday. She didn't even know that I was going to be doing this live about teacups. So it's got a little tiny cup, a saucer, a teapot, like a creamer, little tiny spoons. Isn't this so cute? She got it off of Etsy. It's called Charmed Bunny. It's got a little bunny, and I love bunnies. That's kind of my little thing, is bunnies. I mean, how perfect was that? Well, my bestie is the best. Okay, fresh freesia. Back to stamping. I'm going to stamp my teacup. And Shirley was showing that you just let the stamp rest, these photopolymers rest on the ink, and they pick it up. You don't have to dab so vigorously with them. There we go. And then I'm going to close that up and bring in my Parakeet Party and do my greenery. So just let that rest on the ink pad. It gets plenty of ink on these firm foam ink pads. And you can just barely touch the greenery to the lip of the teacup, so it looks like it's coming out of the teacup. Perfect. And now bring in my black tuxedo black, and I'm going to do this Let's Get Together Soon. So I got together last night with my bestie. We've been besties since like first grade. Can you believe that? Yeah, it's been a while that we've been besties. All right, that is the inside. And now we can focus on our mini card. Set that aside. and go back to our mini card. And so with the mini card, we got to do some die cutting. So for the die cutting, well, actually, let me bring in this because I'm going to stamp some flowers. This little mini flower here. I'm going to find a block over here. And there's actually 2 dies, so you can stamp a bunch of these mini flowers and cut 2 at a time. So that's pretty cool. So I am going to stamp once and then stamp twice and get a lighter version. Probably can't even tell that. Once and then the lighter version, and then I'm going to do another one, full version. Maybe I'll do 6 because I can. All right, and now I would do some die cutting. So with my teacup dies, you can cut the greenery. I'm not going to cut the greenery. You can cut the little flowers up in here, but I'm not going to cut those. I'm going to do this little flower, and there's 2 of those. I'm going to do a teacup and a teacup overlay. So that's what I'm going to use my scrap cardstock for. So this little flower, and if I don't know if you can tell, but one of these little petals kind of goes to the side, and that lines up with this petal that kind of goes to the side. You can see it's like straight on one side and bent on the other, and it lines up. That's how you line those up. So I could cut out, find that little petal that's kind of straight on one side and bent on the other, and put those through my die cutting machine. I'm going to do this overlay in white and the solid teacup in fresh freesia. So I would take these over to my cut and emboss machine and cut those out. I've already prepped some of this, so you don't have to watch me die cut. And we got our fresh freesia teacup. We have our overlay, and then those little flowers. I have several of those. Okay, so, and this is the front of our card. So we put those when you start building our mini card front. And this, I'm going to kind of lay out where I want my teacup to go. And I think this time I'm going to stamp my greenery. So I have to stamp my greenery first. And I'll make it a little bit higher on the card. I felt like this bow was too close to my teacup. So with the same ink color that I did, I'm using my inks are Parakeet Party and Fresh Freesia. Just rest that on there and let it get a hold of the ink. And I'll stamp. I'm going to try to center it right and left, and then up a little further than my original one. And now I can bring in this flower. And so when these photopolymers, if you just put them down on your workspace and then pick them up, they are flexible, so they'll be in a resting position with no, you won't have stressed them out of proportion. They'll be in the right way, basically is what I'm trying to say. Okay, and now get rid of this because I can't have 2 ink pads opening at the same time because I will mess that up. I'll get in the wrong ink. Hey, good morning, Angie and Shirley. Thank you for joining me this early. It's probably earlier than for you than it is here on the East Coast. All right. And I think somebody mentioned that these don't quite line up. They're not really meant to line up, but you can kind of get them close. But there is, yeah, they won't, kind of close, but you're never going to get them truly right where they're supposed to be. Well, it's not designed that way, I guess is what I'm saying. All right. Oh, the one other thing that we have to do on our scrap was this mini words over here. I miss you, and we're going to do that in Memento ink. So this one I will have to dab to get it inked up. Yeah, here we go. Little tiny words. I have a friend, Chris, who loves little things. She would just love these little tiny words. They're so sweet. My sister too. She's also one who likes little tiny things. All right, while we have this, let's we're just gonna fussy cut this out. And I know some people aren't fans of fussy cutting, but really it does not take too long. I hold the paper with my left hand and kind of drive how I'm going, and hold my scissors one angle, and then just keep going. So there's my mini words. Hopefully I won't lose them as I lost the stamp. I mean, it was misplaced because I did find it. All right, so we'll put these up there with them, and then we're really truly going to build our card. Now, when I made this card, I stuck the adhesive sheet to the back of the cardstock, my white cardstock, and peeled that off. It's so fiddly that I feel like you're gonna, either way, whether you put glue on it or adhesive, you're still gonna be fiddling with it. So for this demonstration, I am going with liquid glue, and I'm just gonna put a little dab on these bigger parts, and then just run a very fine bead along the outside edges, and I think this is going to secure it. So either way, whether you use glue or the adhesive sheets, you need to put this overlay on top. And just kind of, there we go. And then I can put my teacup right over top of my stamped image. I think that looks nice. So I'll secure this down with some liquid glue. Looks about right. And now I'm going to use this lovely ribbon from, this is from the Splendid Day suite, and it's so fine. It's not Parakeet Party, but I think it's pale enough that it works with the Parakeet Party. So I'm just going to tie this ribbon around and tie a knot. I could have done one of Joy's false bows. She did a little tip about tying a false bow or faux knot. I could have done that. Or you should go check out her tip video she did yesterday. There was a lot of great tips yesterday. I found out about the markers. I never knew that the little stripe on the end of the markers denoted which tip, whether it was the fine tip or the brush tip. Thank you, Nancy, for sharing that. You can really learn things that you had no idea that you were missing out on through these woohoo weekends. All right, so our card front is built, and now we can move to the inside of our mini card. And I'm going to bring in my bone folder and just burnish that score line to give it a sharp edge. So our mini card, this will be the front. I'm going to wait a moment for that. I'm going to bring in my DSPs, and we have two of these patterns, and they're the same. It's just I reversed it, so I cut two of the same. One side's going to be floral, and one side I'm using the stripe pattern paper. And again, some liquid glue. Look at these all the different colors. I mean, you have so many options with this paper. There's Parakeet Party, there's Garden Green, Fresh Freesia, I think Petal Pink, I think that's Crushed Curry. So yeah, it goes with a lot. That's one of the things I struggle. It's like, well, what color am I going to be using for my project? There were so many choices. So in the end, Parakeet Party and Fresh Freesia. Now these I'm just going to glue in randomly, these little flowers and those little tiny words. I miss you. How sweet is that? So I'll just kind of mimic. Oh, there it is. Thought he went missing. So I think that's nice random pattern. And I'll just put a dot of liquid glue down and hold these little tiny flowers. So coming up next, we got more demonstrations. Yes, there are more. Following my presentation, there are 3 more, each starting at the top of the hour, so they'll be run consecutively. And you have, you can watch those live or you can watch those on replay. And now I can put my card front on my mini card, and I will go over a little bit on the, put some glue on that ribbon just to hold it in place. And then just center top and bottom. So I have some posts coming live, or some engagement posts. I hope you'll check those out. Now I'm going to bring in this scrap because this little handle is raised, so I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the end of this and slide it under here just to tack that down. There we go. And maybe this petal over here. There. And maybe this one here. There. All done with one little scrap. Cool. Okay. And now we can work on our base card. So this is coming together rather quickly. So now we're going to work on our fun fold base. A mini card away. And again, bring in my bone folder and burnish these score lines. So folding from the right and folding from the left and then to the right. So yeah, like that. So this DSP is going to go here, and then our other piece will go on the left. So let me get those together. Oh, that's the different. See, I have one open and I have one in reserve. Hopefully there's enough in this one. I love my liquid glue. It gives me just a little insurance that if I don't get it right, I can redo it. I think this pattern, I don't know that it really has an up and a down, but it seems to be more going in this direction, so I'm going to use that. Use it in here, and then just adhere it to the left panel, and then our teapot. Those are the beautiful colors. I think this is Starry Sky. It's probably one of my favorite of the new ink colors, because I always miss those of us who've been around a minute Stampin' Up. They used to have a color called Brilliant Blue, which to me was a true blue. I think the Starry Sky is close to that, so it's one of my favorites. All right, so our card large fun fold is almost done. The front of it's decorated. Now we're going to adhere the inside panel. Okay. All right. Now this left panel overlaps the right panel, and that's where we're going to adhere our mini card on top. And I'm going for that it has not equal distance. I want it a little closer to the left so I can see my teapots off to the right. So I'll probably do this about a 1/2 inch or 1 centimeter. And I'm going to flip it over because I only want to put glue on the left-hand panel because I don't want to glue shut my card. So I'm going to put some glue on that side and then flip it and center it top and bottom and with about a 1/2 inch on the left. And then just hold that for while I glue that. Make sure I didn't go over, and I didn't. So that is my card, my first presentation. I will be back in a couple minutes with another little project. Meanwhile, check out my engagement posts, and remember, stamping is fun. Bye.